Welcome to Affiliate Talk. Today we are doing a deep dive into something that, honestly, is reshaping the entire digital economy as we speak.
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive shift.
Right. Because right now, at this exact second, there is an affiliate marketer out there generating, $10,000 a month in purely passive income.
Yeah. And they aren't grinding away at a keyboard for 14 hours a day either.
Exactly. They've built this automated system that handles their research, it customizes their user journeys, it perfectly formats their content. But simultaneously, like at this exact same second, another affiliate marketer just got a devastating email from Amazon associates.
Oh, I know where this is going. The ban hammer.
The ban hammer.
Yeah.
Their entire account, months of hard work, thousands of dollars in pending commissions permanently banned. And the wild part to me is both of these people thought they were doing the exact same thing.
Right.
They both thought they were just using AI to build their business.
Yeah, but the difference is one used AI as a brute force typewriter just to spam the internet, while the other used it as this invisible, highly calibrated operating system.
Which brings us to the big mission for today. We're directly addressing the massive question you, our listener, are probably asking right now. Can I use AI platforms like ChatGPT for affiliate marketing?
And we aren't just going to give you a simple yes or no, because that doesn't help anyone.
No, it doesn't. We're going to break down exactly how the top earners in 2026 are integrating these models, how they avoid the robotic traps that kill sales, how they bypass those compliance landmines that trigger bans.
Which are shifting underneath our feet weekly, by the way.
Weekly. So let's start with this AI paradigm shift, because a few years ago, injecting AI into your workflow was, a novelty.
Yeah, it was a neat little trick to help you brainstorm some blog titles or something. Now, it is foundational. It's table stakes.
Right, but we didn't just decide to use AI because it was shiny and new. We were kind of forced into it, right?
Yeah.
Because of the whole death of the third-party cookie.
Entirely. The wild west of data tracking is completely over. Let's look at the mechanics of how affiliate marketing used to work, say 5 or 6 years ago.
It was a stalker's paradise.
It really was. You had third-party cookies acting as these digital private investigators. You'd place a Facebook pixel on your site, and that pixel would literally stalk a user across the internet.
It knew they looked at running shoes on website A, read a fitness blog on website B, checked the weather on website C.
Exactly. And the algorithms absorbed all that cross-site behavior and allowed you to serve them a perfectly timed ad for those exact running shoes. The tracking infrastructure did all the heavy lifting for you.
Then Apple's iOS changes happened, GDPR enforcements, browsers blocking third-party tracking by default.
And the private investigators were fired.
Right, so the cross-site tracking mechanisms are blinded. If you can't follow people around the internet to figure out what they want, how do you actually sell them anything?
You have to rely exclusively on first-party data.
First-party data. Okay, let's unpack this. First-party data sounds great in a boardroom, but if I only know what someone is doing during the, 3 minutes they are on my specific website, how is that enough info to predict what they're going to buy?
Well, that is precisely where AI replaces those old tracking models. AI doesn't need to know what the user did on 100 other websites if it can deeply, instantly analyze their behavior on your website.
Okay, give me an example of that.
Let's say you run a tech review site, right? A user lands on your homepage. In the old days, they'd just see your generic top 10 gadgets banner.
Right, totally static.
But now you have an AI script running in the background. It instantly registers that this specific user typed best noise-canceling headphones for open offices into your search bar. Then they clicked on a Sony review, hovered over a comparison table for 20 seconds, and clicked back.
So it's reading the micro-behaviors in real time.
Yes. The AI is mapping their intent. It categorizes them not just as a tech fan, but as someone in the late research phase who is actively comparing premium models for office noise. And because it has that instant synthesis, it dynamically alters the next page they click on. Instead of a generic sidebar ad, it serves them a highly specific widget offering a discount code for the exact Sony headphones they were just lingering on.
I love that. It's like giving your website a brain and a memory. It remembers the context of the conversation you're having with that specific visitor, so it doesn't send them a generic promo.
Exactly. It replaces a static funnel with a dynamic journey. But, the personalization is just the front end. Where solo affiliates are truly saving their businesses right now is actually on the back end.
You mean the admin stuff, the grunt work?
The silent profit killer. Think about the life cycle of a single affiliate link. In the past, you couldn't just drop a naked link into a blog post, because if you made a sale, you'd have zero clue where it came from.
Right. Was it the blog? Was it a tweet? Was it an email? You had to manually build UTM parameters.
And UTM parameters, for anyone who isn't deep in the analytics weeds, are basically little tags of code glued onto the end of your URL. They tell your software exactly where the click originated.
Like item source YouTube.
Exactly. Manually typing those out, organizing them in a massive spreadsheet, making sure you didn't make a typo that breaks the whole tracking link. I mean, it takes hours.
Yeah, if you're managing hundreds of links, it becomes a full-time job. So how does the AI operating system actually fix this?
So top affiliates use automation platforms like Make.com or Zapier tied directly into a large language model. You just paste your raw affiliate link into a Slack channel or a Notion database. That triggers an automation, sending the link to ChatGPT's API with a pre-written prompt.
Oh, that's clever.
It says, take this link, look at my content calendar for today, and generate 5 different versions with the correct UTM parameters for YouTube, Twitter, my newsletter, and the blog.
And it just spits them back out.
Instantly. Perfectly formatted links populated back into your database. It completely removes human error.
That is wild. But what about testing? Because traditionally, if I wanted to know if an ad hook or a headline was good, I would run an A/B test, right? Show headline A to half my audience, headline B to the other half, wait 2 weeks, and pick the winner.
Yeah, and traditional A/B testing is fundamentally flawed for fast-moving affiliate campaigns because it literally forces you to bleed money.
Wait, bleed money? How?
Think about the math. If you run a test for 14 days and you're splitting your traffic 50-50, you are actively sending 50% of your hard-earned traffic to the variation that is performing worse.
Oh, right. Because you have to wait for the test to finish to get statistical significance.
Exactly. By the time it ends, you've lost hundreds of potential conversions. This is where AI introduces multi-armed bandit testing, or MA.
Multi-armed bandit. Sounds like a casino thing.
It literally comes from a gambler standing in front of a row of slot machines, the one-armed bandits. You want to find out which machine has the highest payout, but you don't want to waste all your coins testing the cold machines.
So the algorithm solves this mathematically.
Yes. Instead of a rigid 50-50 split for 2 weeks, the AI monitors performance in real time. If you launch headline A and B on Monday morning, by Tuesday afternoon, the AI notices headline A has a slightly higher conversion rate.
So it adapts on the fly.
It doesn't wait 2 weeks. It immediately starts sending 60% of the traffic to headline A and 40% to B. If A keeps winning, it pushes it to 80-20. It optimizes for actual profit during the test.
That's incredible. Okay, so if we have this amazing AI engine handling our tracking and real-time testing, it feels like we're ready to conquer the world.
Yeah.
But if you point this machine at the wrong target, you just fail faster.
Exactly. You build a highly efficient factory, but you have no idea what product to manufacture.
So how does a new affiliate or someone pivoting figure out what to sell?
That brings us to the 90-day AI launchpad, specifically days 1 through 30. Because most affiliates quit in their first month. They lack a system. To guarantee you're building the right product, you need the 3 pillars of a perfect niche: passion, profitability, and a problem.
Okay, the 3 Ps. All by profitability and problem. Obviously, you need margin and a pain point. But let me play devil's advocate here. Is passion really necessary? In an era where AI can write a 5,000-word silo on industrial water filtration in 10 seconds, can't I just find a high-margin problem and let AI fake the enthusiasm?
That is the most common trap people fall into right now, and it is a guaranteed path to failure.
Really? Why?
Because AI relies entirely on pattern recognition from existing data. It can generate structurally perfect sentences about water filtration, but it cannot generate original experiential nuance. It doesn't know what a cheap water filter sounds like when the motor fails.
It lacks the human friction.
Exactly. It doesn't know the frustration of aligning a plastic gasket under a sink at 2 a.m. When you rely on AI to write about something you have zero interest in, the output is sterile. It reads like a Wikipedia article.
And people don't buy from Wikipedia.
No, they don't. The core currency of affiliate marketing isn't information anymore, it's trust. Genuine passion is what allows you to curate the AI's output. You need to know the subject well enough to look at a drafted paragraph and say, no, that's actually terrible advice. Or, let me add a quick story about how I messed this up last week.
That makes total sense. You can't be a good editor-in-chief if you don't care about the magazine.
Precisely.
But finding that intersection of passion and profit usually takes weeks of keyword research. How do we speed that up with AI?
You use conversational AI to validate the niche in about 15 minutes. Instead of manually scraping search volumes, you use deeply specific prompts.
Give me an example.
Let's say your passion is pickleball. You don't ask ChatGPT, is pickleball a good niche? That's too broad. You ask, act as an expert market researcher. What are the top 5 most expensive and frustrating pain points for beginner to intermediate pickleball players regarding their physical equipment?
Oh, wow. You force it to focus on friction and cost.
Right. And it instantly aggregates forum posts and articles. It tells you beginners suffer from tennis elbow because their paddles are too heavy, they're confused by carbon fiber versus fiberglass, and their court shoes wear out the toe box in a month.
So you aren't just in the pickleball niche anymore. You're in the injury prevention and equipment durability sub-niche.
Exactly. Then you hit it with a follow-up. Based on those exact pain points, create a topical map of physical and digital products I can promote, categorized by search angle and profitability.
And it just hands you the business plan.
Within seconds.
Right.
But, and this is crucial, just because a product exists doesn't mean it's worth promoting. You do not write a single word of content until the product passes the 5-point offer scorecard.
Okay, let's break down this scorecard. Point number 1.
Point 1 is the commission structure. If it's a digital product or software, you demand 20 to 25% recurring, or a flat bounty of $50 to $100. Physical products are lower, maybe 3 to 8%, but the average order value has to be high.
Right. 4% on a $5 grip tape doesn't scale, but 4% on a $250 paddle does.
Exactly. Point 2 is the cookie duration. You must look for programs that offer a 30-day cookie window at an absolute minimum.
Okay, why does cookie duration dictate survival? Break that mechanic down.
Let's map out a user journey. You publish a highly detailed review of that expensive paddle. A viewer is on the train commuting to work on a Tuesday. They watch your video, they click your affiliate link, they land on the manufacturer's site, they're ready to buy.
But then
the train goes into a tunnel, they lose service, they arrive at their stop, they put their phone away.
life interrupts the funnel.
Right. Fast forward 3 weeks, it's Saturday, they're at the courts, their current paddle snaps. They remember your review. But they don't go back to YouTube to find your link. They type the manufacturer's website directly into the browser and buy it. If the affiliate program only gave you a 24-hour cookie window like Amazon Associates notoriously does, you get $0. The vendor keeps 100% of the profit. But if you had a 30-day cookie, a tiny text file was saved on their browser during that train ride. When they buy 3 weeks later, the system reads the cookie, sees your ID, and pays you.
Wow. A short cookie is basically wage theft for affiliates. You do the selling, they reap the delayed rewards.
Exactly. Point 3 is back-end tracking software. You need to know how the vendor manages payouts. Do they use a reputable third-party network like Impact or ShareASale?
Because if they use some custom in-house dashboard, they could just scrub sales, right?
Yep. Transparency is mandatory. Point 4 is the conversion rate of the vendor's sales page. This is a massive blind spot. You can have a 50% click-through rate on your review, but if you send them to a website built in 1998 with a broken checkout cart, you make no money.
Right, you're partnering with their sales team.
Click the link yourself before you apply. Try to buy it. And finally, point 5 is affiliate support and assets. A great program gives you unbranded high-res photos, early access to releases, and a dedicated manager.
Okay, so we've validated the niche, we've vetted the offers, foundation is solid, but where do we actually send the traffic? We need to set up the hub.
Yes, the hub is your digital real estate. The strongest hub consists of 3 things: a YouTube channel as the primary discovery engine, a dedicated blog like WordPress or Ghost as the authority anchor, and an email list as your own insurance policy.
Now, a lot of affiliates historically prefer just writing articles anonymously. Why force them onto video with YouTube?
2 reasons. First, text cannot compete with visual proof. If you claim a shoe has great grip and I can actually see you wearing it, planting your feet, hitting a shot, the trust is undeniable.
And the second reason?
AI search engines are heavily scraping YouTube transcripts. When a user asks an AI, what's the best pickleball paddle under $100, the AI is increasingly citing spoken insights from YouTube videos and embedding them directly in the chat. If you are text only, you're missing the richest vein of algorithmic discovery.
But you still say we need a blog.
Yes, because not everyone wants to watch a 10-minute video to find a single spec. The blog is the structured repository where you capture traditional SEO traffic and house your email capture forms.
Which is the owned insurance policy, because you don't own your YouTube subs or Google rankings.
But an email list of 5,000 highly engaged subscribers. You can export that file, move to any provider, and print revenue on demand, completely safe from algorithm updates.
Okay, the hub is set. Discovery on YouTube, detail on the blog, monetization on the email list. Now we enter the 30-day content sprint. But we have to look at the tools, because treating all AI models as equal is a massive mistake. So let's get into the heavyweight bout, ChatGPT versus Claude.
This is a critical distinction. People confuse what an AI is capable of doing with what it is optimal for doing.
Capable versus optimal. Let's look at ChatGPT. What is its optimal use case?
ChatGPT is the undisputed king of speed, structural logic, and short-form frameworks. It's optimized for instruction following. It wants to give you the answer quickly and get out of the way.
So what tasks do we give it?
The architectural work. Generating ad hooks, writing meta descriptions, and building SEO skeletons.
Meaning the H1s, the H2s, the subheaders?
Exactly. And schema markup. If you feed it a topic, it generates a flawless, logically flowing outline with all the correct headers and a highly relevant FAQ section. It builds the perfect blueprint.
But why not just tell it to write the whole 2,000-word article?
Because it struggles to hold a nuanced, opinionated narrative thread over a long distance. It relies on transitional crutches. You know those articles that constantly say, in conclusion, it is important to remember.
Oh man, the classic AI cliches. It feels like a middle school book report just trying to hit a word count.
Exactly. And that is where you tag in Claude. Claude is the champion of long-form authority, brand voice consistency, and empathetic thought leadership.
Why is Claude better at the human element?
Because of its massively superior context window and training methodology, it doesn't just predict the next word, it understands the broader context. When it writes a review, the conclusion actually references an emotional pain point introduced in the first paragraph.
So it takes a stance. It resists that generic AI speak.
Yes, which is why it is the only model you should use for writing email sequences. An email sequence isn't 5 random emails, it's one psychological journey chopped into 5 pieces. Claude remembers the emotional state the reader was left in at the end of email 2 and seamlessly picks it up in email 3.
Here's where it gets really interesting. So ChatGPT is like the architect drawing up the flawless blueprints for a house, and Claude is the interior designer who comes in and actually makes it feel like a home someone wants to live in.
That is the perfect analogy, and the smartest teams use that exact workflow. But there's a third step, the human. You take the Claude draft, and you inject the final 10% of proprietary real-world friction. You add the specific anecdote about how the product felt in your hands. You add commercial context.
Let's apply this to the most vital piece of content, the product review.
The lifeblood of the industry.
But search engines demand actual hands-on experience now. You can't just scrape bullet points from a manufacturer's site anymore.
No, absolutely not. The algorithmic demand for experience is ruthless. The #1 rule is never review a product you haven't actually touched and tested yourself.
Because if you fake it, the system knows.
The system and the human reader know. Search engines flag information consensus. If your review just repeats the same specs as 100 other sites, it gets buried.
Okay, practically speaking, I bought the paddle, I played with it, I have notes, I want Claude to write the draft based on ChatGPT's outline. How do I prompt Claude so it sounds like my genuine experience?
You prompt with empathy and persona. A weak prompt is, write a review of the ProLite paddle.
Boring question, boring answer.
Right, you'll get a sterile list of features. A strong prompt gives an emotional baseline. You say, you are a seasoned, slightly cynical, but highly helpful pickleball coach. You're writing a review for a 40-year-old beginner exhausted from wasting money on cheap gear and suffering from tennis elbow. Write a conversational, empathetic review focusing heavily on how the weight distribution feels after 2 hours, and don't be afraid to criticize the ugly grip tape.
Wow, you're giving it constraints, an attitude, and a hyper-specific pain point.
And the output stops reading like a manual and starts reading like a conversation at a bar after a game.
Okay, the tone is dialed. What about the structure? Because if I have to scroll past 4 paragraphs about the history of pickleball to find out if the paddle is good, I'm bouncing.
User patience is at 0. You must use the BLUF principle. Bottom line up front.
Don't bury the lead.
Never. At the absolute top, you need a punchy executive summary, a visual star rating, 3 pros and 2 cons, and a sentence stating exactly who should buy it and who should avoid it. Plus, a highly visible call to action button. Catch the high-intent buyer immediately, then provide the deep dive below.
Got it. Now, inside that deep dive, we need photos. AI image generators like Dowleen are incredible now. Can I just generate a photo of the paddle on a court?
Absolutely not for a product review. Generating fake product photos is a massive violation of trust.
But if it looks real, who cares?
Because it's never perfectly real. The logo might be misspelled, the texture will be too smooth. More importantly, a perfect image doesn't prove you used it. Take real photos with your smartphone. Show the friction. Show the grip tape fraying. Show a scuff mark.
Show the flaws.
Yes. That imperfection is the undeniable visual proof that you own the item.
So no AI images at all.
You can use AI to edit the environment, just not the subject. If your messy kitchen counter is in the background, drop the photo into Photoshop and use generative fill to replace it with a clean wooden table. Keep the authentic product, but use AI to clean up the presentation.
Great distinction. What else elevates the review?
Contextual alternatives. Never review in a vacuum. If they decide the $250 paddle is too expensive and you don't offer an alternative, they leave. Include a section for best budget alternative or best for power. Keep them in your ecosystem.
Okay, but how do we ensure the writing doesn't drift back into that repetitive AI cadence over time?
You manually inject strategic friction. AI likes perfect symmetry, paragraphs of the same length. Humans don't talk like that. We use sentence variation, we stutter, we drop in a one-word sentence for impact.
Boom, just like that.
Exactly. Break the symmetry and utilize strategic hesitation. Instead of writing the grip tape lacks durability, you rewrite it to say, not gonna lie, when I first unboxed this, it felt cheap. I almost returned it, but surprisingly, it held up.
It shows a journey. Doubt followed by resolution. AI doesn't experience doubt.
Right. And to systemize this, you build a brand voice guide for your AI. Include a taboo phrase list, tell it to never use, delve into, or game changer. Give it examples of your past writing, and use sounds like analogies.
Like what?
Our brand voice sounds like Patagonia, not Peloton. Instantly, the AI knows you want a rugged, practical tone, not a hyper-energetic, elitist one.
Brilliant. Now let me ask you, what is the biggest trap affiliates fall into when trying to make AI sound human?
The biggest trap is swapping clarity for quirk.
Swapping clarity for quirk.
They tell the AI to be super casual and funny, and it becomes a rambling monologue full of forced jokes and pop culture references. They spend 3 paragraphs talking about their dog and dilute the actual buying advice.
Never sacrifice clarity just to prove you have a personality.
Fantastic advice. Personality is the seasoning, not the main course. Okay, the content is optimized. But right before we publish, we have to talk about the compliance minefield. You can do everything right and still lose your account, right? Yes, this keeps top earners up at night. Take Amazon Associates, for example. They've rolled out incredibly vague language. They state that program content, like product images and reviews, must not be used in connection with generative AI models.
What does in connection with even mean? If I use ChatGPT to outline a post and paste an Amazon link in it, am I banned?
The ambiguity is intentional. It gives them the right to terminate accounts at their discretion to prevent mass scraping. But the real issue is their enforcement mechanism. They rely on automated AI detection software to scan your site.
Right. The digital polygraphs. Let me guess. They're completely flawless.
They are notoriously catastrophically inaccurate.
Why? Why do they fail so badly?
They look for 2 metrics: perplexity and burstiness. Perplexity is how predictable your word choices are. Burstiness is the variance in sentence length. If your language is highly standard, grammatically perfect, and structurally consistent, it has low perplexity and low burstiness.
Wait, so if I'm a good professional writer,
the detector flags your 100% human-written article as AI-generated. It actively penalizes clean, professional writing. People have run the U.S. Constitution through these things, and it gets flagged as AI.
that is insane. So I could spend weeks writing a brilliant review by hand, get falsely flagged by a broken detector, and lose my business. How do we protect ourselves?
You have to protect your data environment. Ensure you use AI in a closed loop. Most beginners just open public ChatGPT, paste proprietary product info from an affiliate dashboard, and ask it to summarize. That leaks data into the public model, which is exactly what platforms hunt for.
So what's the alternative?
Advanced affiliates use ARI retrieval augmented generation.
Break reg down for us.
Think of a standard AI model like an arrogant student who reads the whole internet but hallucinates facts to sound smart. ARI is like giving that student an open book test, but you provide the textbook. You feed your approved documents, personal notes, and compliance guidelines into a private vector database. When you prompt the AI, it only retrieves facts from your safe, private database to generate the text.
So it's mathematically fenced in, it can't hallucinate, and it can't leak data.
Precisely. It's the ultimate defense. But playing defense isn't enough. We have to talk about the offensive strategy, how AI search is changing traditional SEO into AEO and GEO, answer engine optimization, and generative engine optimization.
How does traditional SEO differ from AEO?
Traditional SEO was a real estate game. You rank your blue link on page 1, a user clicks, lands on your site, you show them ads. AEO operates completely differently. When a user asks an AI search engine a question, they don't want a list of links. They want a synthesized answer generated directly inside the chat interface.
But wait, if the AI reads my article, summarizes it, and gives
Okay.
the user the answer right there in the chat, my traffic drops to 0. How do I make money?
This is the existential panic right now.
Yeah.
The answer is a massive pivot. The goal of AEO is not to get a traditional click to your homepage. The goal is to be cited by the AI as the source of its generated answer.
The citation is the new click.
Yes. When the AI says, this paddle is best for elbow pain, you want a little bracketed number 1 right next to that sentence, linking directly to your review. The volume of traffic from those citations might be lower, but the intent is astronomically higher.
So how do I force the AI to cite me instead of my competitor?
You have to speak the machine's language. AI engines don't want meandering lifestyle narratives. They want to extract data. Your content must be an answer asset.
What makes it an answer asset?
An entity-rich structure and extreme clarity. AI maps the world using knowledge graphs, connecting entities like brand names and specific specs. You use highly structured formatting, markdown comparison tables, bolded factual statements, bulleted lists.
So this ties back to using ChatGPT for the architectural blueprint. It naturally formats information into the exact structure AEO demands.
Exactly. You use ChatGPT to build a machine-readable skeleton, and Claude plus your human friction to fill it with authority. That hybrid approach is how you dominate generative search.
All right, so we've laid the foundation, mastered the workflow, and understand the SEO landscape. Now we're in days 60 to 90. We have to scale this machine and turn traffic into revenue.
To scale without burning out, you implement the content pyramid.
What's at the base of the pyramid?
Pillar content. Massive, comprehensive deep dives. The ultimate guide to choosing a pickleball paddle. A 4,000-word blog post and a 20-minute video. Takes immense time, but establishes foundational authority.
What's in the middle?
Supporting content. Shorter, highly specific pieces solving one distinct problem that link back to the pillar. How to replace grip tape in 5 minutes, or a head-to-head comparison. You do 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah, on the top.
Quick updates. YouTube shorts, reels, quick emails, designed purely to capture viral attention and funnel it down to the supporting and pillar content.
Okay, but when they're consuming this content, how do we structure the script to sell without sounding like an infomercial?
You prompt the AI using the ADA framework. Attention, interest, desire, action. First, attention. Hook them in 3 seconds. Are you sick of throwing away $120 court shoes every 3 months?
You named the pain.
Then interest. Explain why it happens. Generic rubber melts on hot outdoor courts. Then desire. Introduce the solution. The new K-Swiss model uses Michelin-grade rubber engineered for outdoor courts.
Created a desire.
Finally, action. Don't just say thanks for watching. Tell them exactly what to do. Click the link in the pinned comment to check the current price.
Which leads us to the conversion equation, because this whole business is just math.
It is. Views multiplied by click-through rate multiplied by conversion rate equals revenue. Amateurs just chase views. Professionals optimize CTR and CR.
So how do we force the click-through rate higher?
Reduce the friction. On YouTube, pin your affiliate link as the top comment.
Why not just the description?
Yeah. Mobile behavior. People scroll down to read comments while the video plays. If your link is pinned at the top, it stares them in the face. On a blog, you slide in pop-ups triggered by exit intent and highly visible comparison buttons.
Okay, clicks go up, but how do we boost the conversion rate on the vendor side?
This is the ultimate scaling hack. You use bonuses.
Bonuses. Break this down.
You and a competitor review the same $1,000 software. You both have the same affiliate link. Why should buyer use yours? There is no inherent incentive, so you invent one.
By attaching a custom bonus to your specific link.
Right. You say, buy through my link today, email me your receipt, and I'll send you my exclusive 30-minute masterclass on setting up your first campaign, my AI prompt templates, and I'll jump on a 15-minute Zoom call to audit your setup.
That's a game changer. You eliminate the competition by massively increasing the value, but manually checking receipts and emailing templates sounds like a nightmare.
You automate it with Zapier. When a sale registers in your dashboard, it triggers your email software to instantly send the buyer a hidden YouTube link and a Google Drive folder. It happens while you sleep.
Fully automated. Imagine you get 10,000 views a month. With optimized CTAs, you get a 5% click-through rate. That's 500 clicks. With the irresistible bonus, your conversion rate hits 2%. That's 10 sales. If it's a $100 commission per sale, that is a completely passive $1,000 a month from just 10,000 views.
And that math compounds. A properly structured blog post will rank and get cited by AI for years. You transition from trading hours for dollars to trading systems for equity.
As we bring this deep dive to a close, what is the one overarching thought the listener needs to wrestle with as they start this 90-day sprint today?
Consider the trajectory of the internet. We are approaching a point where AI writes the vast majority of generic content, and users rely on AI to summarize that exact same content.
So AI generates it, and AI consumes it.
The machines just trade optimized data packets, so you have to ask, in a web where AI talks to AI, what is your actual role?
What are we selling?
You are selling trust. The only impenetrable moat left is an information speed. It's building an unshakable, aggressively authentic personal brand. Your flawed perspective, your real-world scars from testing broken products, your specific humor.
The friction is the feature.
Exactly. The more the internet floods with sterile AI information, the more desperately humans will seek out other humans for trusted curation. Build your brand on actual experience, and AI doesn't replace you. It just amplifies your humanity at an unprecedented scale.
Build the automated factory, but make sure a human is designing the product. What a profound place to leave it. Thank you for tuning into Affiliate Talk. If you've been on the sidelines, let this deep dive be your blueprint. Start your 90-day sprint, build the hub, use AI as your architect, but most importantly, stay fiercely human. See you in the next one.